Season 35 is here, and if you're looking to dominate in solo rank, I've got you covered. In this video, we'll break down the 15 best heroes for climbing the ranks this season. These heroes are solid picks to help you rack up those wins this season. Let's dive right in. Mia's been killing it this season, especially in solo queue. Her attack speed and damage scale insanely well as the game progresses, and that ultimate? It's a lifesaver in chaotic fights when teammates aren't always around to help. She's easy to pick up and super reliable if you like staying in the back line and melting enemies. Plus, her wave clear with her first skill makes her great for pushing objectives quickly. If you're all about dishing out consistent damage and taking over the late game, Mia's your girl this season. Granger is a beast in Season 35. His burst damage lets you dominate in the early to mid-game, which is perfect for carrying your team when they're struggling. His first skill makes farming and clearing waves so fast, and his ultimate is great for sniping fleeing enemies or poking before a big fight. What's awesome about Granger is his mobility. You can kite enemies all day while dishing out insane damage. If you're aggressive and love snowballing games, Granger's definitely the gold laner to go for this season. Claude is the gold lane king if you want high mobility and crazy AoE damage. His ultimate, combined with his attack speed buffs, lets you shred through entire teams in a matter of seconds. He's a bit tricky to master, but once you get the hang of using Battle Mirror Image, you'll be untouchable. Claude is also amazing at farming quickly, thanks to his passive. If you love flashy plays and carrying team fights, Claude is your go-to pick this season. Suyu is one of the most flexible jungle picks right now. His ability to switch between forms makes him a nightmare for enemies. He can deal insane burst damage or sustain in extended fights. Plus, his skills are great for outplaying opponents and dodging their big ultimates. Suyu's versatility lets you adapt to any situation, whether you're diving into fights or playing it safe. If you're the kind of player who loves being unpredictable and outsmarting your enemies, Suyu's your guy this season. Joy is an absolute menace in the jungle, especially if you can nail her rhythm-based skills. She zips around the map like lightning, making her hard to catch and even harder to kill. Her ultimate not only deals massive damage, but also gives her insane mobility, letting you dive in and out of fights like a pro. Joy's perfect for players who love high speed, flashy plays, and want to carry games by outplaying their opponents. If you like feeling untouchable, give Joy a shot. Yi Sun-shin is a classic jungler who's still rocking the meta this season. His hybrid playstyle lets you switch between melee and ranged attacks, making him super versatile in fights. His ultimate gives global vision and deals AoE damage, which is perfect for controlling the map and helping your team secure objectives. YSS is also great for scaling. He gets stronger as the game goes on. If you like a balanced mix of aggression and utility, Yi Sun-shin is the perfect jungler to climb with. Sun is a monster in the XP lane, especially for split pushing and dominating 1v1 fights. His clones let him deal tons of damage while confusing the enemy. Good luck figuring out which one to focus on. Sun's sustain and attack speed make him a threat in both early trades and late-game fights. Plus, his ability to shred turrets quickly makes him perfect for applying map pressure. If you love out-dueling your lane opponent and carrying through sheer lane dominance, Sun is the way to go. Khalid is an absolute brawler in the XP lane. His sustain with Sandwalk keeps him healthy in trades, and his burst damage with Raging Sandstorm can turn team fights around. He's great at bullying squishy heroes and controlling the pace of the lane. The mobility he gets from his skills makes him super annoying to deal with, and he's awesome for setting up ganks or escaping sticky situations. If you like being aggressive and playing a lane bully, Khalid's got you covered. Badang is all about big plays and insane burst damage in the XP lane. His fist crack and wall combos can pin enemies down and deal massive AoE damage, making him deadly in both 1v1s and team fights. He's great for snowballing early leads, and his damage scales well into the mid-game. Badang is perfect for players who want to play an explosive, high-damage hero that can single-handedly carry fights. If you love flashy plays and outplaying enemies, Badong's your guy this season. Sicilian is a beast in the mid lane, especially in the late game. His bad impact has insane range and damage, letting you poke enemies and keep them at a safe distance. The best part? His scaling gets ridiculous as the game goes on, so you'll feel like a walking artillery. Pair that with his survivability from Sanguine Claws, and you've got a hero who's hard to gank and even harder to stop in team fights. If you're patient and love dealing huge damage from afar, Sicilian is a solid pick this season. Juxin brings something fresh to the mid lane. His abilities are a perfect mix of burst and control, letting you dominate in skirmishes and set up plays for your team. His AoE damage clears waves fast, while his utility skills make him super versatile in team fights. Whether you're locking down enemies or diving into fights, Juxin is all about making big plays. He's a great pick for players who want to be active and constantly pressure the enemy mid lane. Xavier is the definition of a late-game carry in the mid lane. His long-range damage is insane, and his ultimate, Dawning Light, can change the tide of a fight from across the map. His stacking mechanics let you poke enemies while ramping up your damage, and his crowd control is clutch for locking down threats. If you're all about precision, timing, and making those highlight reel plays, Xavier is the mid laner to master this season. Hylos is a tanky beast this season and perfect for holding the front line. His Ring of Punishment lets you slow down enemies while dealing consistent damage, making him a nightmare for anyone trying to escape. Plus, his ultimate Glorious Pathway gives your team a huge advantage in fights or when chasing down enemies. Hylos is amazing for soaking up damage and creating space for your team. If you want to be that unstoppable wall in team fights, Hylos is the way to go. Goatzy is all about disrupting the enemy team and absorbing tons of damage. His ultimate, Avatar of Guardian, is a game changer. It's perfect for diving into the backline or splitting up the enemy team during fights. Pair that with his passive, which gives him more sustain the lower his HP, and you've got a tank that just won't go down. If you love making flashy initiations and being the center of the action, Goatzy is a fantastic pick for roamers this season. Chow is the ultimate playmaker in the roamer role. His mobility and crowd control are unmatched, making him perfect for isolating high-priority targets. His Jeet Kune Do and Way of the Dragon combo can completely take enemy carries out of the fight, giving your team a huge advantage. Chow's versatility lets you dive, peel, or even deal respectable damage when needed. If you like making high-skill plays and carrying your team with your mechanics, Chow is your go-to roamer this season. That's it for the top 15 heroes to dominate in Season 35. Try them out and start climbing those ranks. If this video helped, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments which hero you're using this season. Good luck, and see you in the next video.